In this tutorial, we will have a look at what Oxshell's File Explorer is capable of, or how to use Oxshell's File Explorer. Oxshell has a built-in File Explorer that you can use to manage your files. In order to access the File Explorer, by default, it is the first item in your home menu, but you can also add it back into the home menu as we saw before through the home settings and then add Explorer item to home. And you can remove it from your home menu, of course, by opening the context menu like we saw before and then pressing remove item. So, and then you can of course place it anywhere you want. But in order to use the File Explorer, Oxshell's File Explorer, you can press on it, and then when you the first time you open it, it will ask you for permissions. You can choose to deny. It will take you back to the home menu if you don't want to. If you don't want Oxshell managing your files, but if you do, you will press allow, and then you will be able to see your files. By default, Oxshell shows the internal storage of the Android system, which is over in /storage emulated 0, and then this is the internal storage. You can also view the micro SD card or other storages that are plugged into the system. I don't know, I haven't tested it for other plugged-in storage devices, but they should show up in /storage, and then over here, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But my micro SD card is showing up here, and I can press on it, and I can see what's inside. And we can see that we have all these folders in Android that belong to different applications. Anyways, in the File Explorer, anywhere in the File Explorer, you can open up the context menu by pressing the Y button on an Xbox controller or a Nintendo controller, or you can press the triangle button on a PlayStation controller. Also, you can long hold on the touchscreen, long press on the touchscreen to bring up this context menu. And then in this context menu, you have options based on what's currently highlighted on the Explorer. So right now I have a folder highlighted. So I get the options of creating a new folder, creating a new file, selecting all items. I can toggle selection. That means we'll come back to that. We can rename this folder. We can copy this folder. We can cut this folder, and we can delete this folder. Right now there is no prompt to make sure that you know what you're doing when you press delete. So be careful with this option. I will add in the future a prompt to make sure it doesn't happen by accident. And then of course there's the cancel option here, which we can just press and nothing happens. Now the toggle selection button, what it does is it highlights the current item and then goes on to the next item. So now we have .backup selected, and then we can toggle selection again, and then now we have .magicbox selected, and then we can toggle selection again. Now we have ADM selected, alarms, and we can keep it held, or actually no, we can't do that. I haven't added that, but you can keep tapping and it'll keep on selecting items, as many as you want. And then you can now, of course, there's a new selection that showed up, which is deselect all and invert selection. Invert selection will, as the name suggests, invert the selection of what you have selected, basically. So whatever is selected will be deselected, whatever is deselected will be selected. And then we can also we can delete all of these items. We can copy all of these items. We cut all of these items. Right now, if you try to copy, it won't show you what is in the clipboard. That will be hopefully in the future an update. And you can delete as well, and it won't prompt you if you are you sure. So that's also something in the future. And then we can deselect all, and we can of course select all, and there they pop up. But I'm going to deselect all again. And another way that you can highlight items is with the X button on the Xbox controller or the Nintendo Switch controller, or the the square button on the PlayStation controller. So, oh wait, sorry, it should be the X button on the Xbox controller and the triangle button on the PlayStation controller. There we go. And then you can keep that held down to as long as you want to keep the selection going. And then you can also you can use that same button to deselect the items. A cool feature in the File Explorer is that you can take a bunch of items. Let me copy these, and I'm going to put them in a new folder. Call this I don't know, GBA2, and then in here I'm going to paste them in. And then let's say we want to rename all of these files. We can do that. We can rename all of these files and give them a prefix, a suffix, and we can tell it to how to number them, whether to place zeros in appropriate places. And so all the files will get the prefix, all the files will get the suffix, and then the index goes, I forget where, I think it goes between the prefix and the suffix. So let's say these are, I'm going to call them ROM, and we're going to say the index starts from 1, and let's place zeros to fill in the gaps in between. So if I'm gonna demonstrate how this looks. So because it reaches the double digits, it will it will fill for 2 places. So wherever there is only 1 digit, it will put a 0 to the left of that digit. So for 1, it'll put 0 for 2, 0, 2, and then so on. And then once it reaches the double digits, it doesn't have to do that anymore. So it doesn't fill with the zeros there. On the other hand, we can, there we go. Okay. We can choose to change the index to start from, let's say, 98. And then we'll tell it, don't place zeros. We don't want any zeros in the places that are missing numbers. So we're going to press OK. And we will see that they got numbered from 98, 99 up until 111. And even though these items have only 2 digits, it did not fill the third with a 0 because we asked it not to. And the order that it numbers these items is based on the order that you select these items in. So if I select these 2 first, then those 2 will be numbered first. And then if I select this, then this, then this, those ones will be numbered next, supposedly. I don't remember if I actually did implement that or not, but that should be the case, I believe. But yeah, that's one of the cool features of OxShell, or OxShell's File Explorer, I should say. And we can, of course, delete this folder that we created. I believe that's everything that needs to be known about the files. Another thing is, if you have appropriate associations created, you can you will see the icons of those associations show up here, and you can just press on one of these items. It will know that this is an item that belongs to association based on the extension of the file. So if it recognizes that this file belongs to an association and you press on the file, it will launch that file using that association. So you can technically, I believe you should be able to even make it be able to open images through the gallery application of your choosing by creating an association for that application and for that extension. And you can also install apps through the File Explorer if you have an APK on here. So I have in my downloads folder, I have a bunch of APKs here. You can press on one of these, and then if it's your first time trying to install an application through Oxshell, it'll prompt you to ask you if you want to allow Oxshell to have this permission. You can press continue. It'll take you to the Android systems settings, and I'll press yes. I'll allow it to do that, and then it will start the installation process. I already have this installed, so I'm going to cancel that. And then now if you have another thing to install, because I already have it enabled, as the permission enabled, it doesn't ask again for permissions. I can choose cancel or install. And that's about everything in the File Explorer. There's still no feature to compress or extract yet. I will work on that in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching.